Hello everyone, cars all parked up, locked up, secured here in Short Stay Blue at Stansted. Yes, I'm back on a plane. A couple of weeks after being at Šiauliai in Lithuania for Rotax Max Challenge Nordic, now off to Western France for the second round of the Rotax Max Euro Trophy to Circuit du Val in Western France. And close to 130 drivers, probably just over 20 different nations competing. A 1,280 metre circuit that provides great racing. Looking forward to this one. So, allons-y. Let's go to France. And I can feel my ears burning. Maybe it's the Marseillaise ringing in my ears. But let's get through, check in, and get on the plane and fly to France. Bonjour, ici à Nantes. Welcome on board the Citroën C5 Aircross plug-in hybrid petrol, which is what I've got for the next few days. Big thank you to Europe Car of Nantes for sorting this out, and hybrid battery needs a little bit of charging. Apple CarPlay, that's what we like, and a lovely magnetic stand on the windscreen. Got to adjust that for some time lapses. So now to wait for Nina, Mega, our official photographer, and then we'll head en route to Circuit du Val d'Argenton. À bientôt, mes amis. So welcome to Circuit Val d'Argenton here in Western France, 1,280 metres. Wonderful circuit, sun is out, shades are on. Trousers, however, are staying on. It's going to be very warm today, 25-26 degrees, and they're about to get underway with the first set of practice sessions with DD2 and Masters going out first, I believe. So yeah, let's have a good one. So now in the car, put this thing here. Oh God, right. That's a little bit better. So time's coming up to 10 to 6 in the evening. It is showing 27 degrees on the external temperature sensor on the Citroën. So I'm in the car, I've got the aircon on, engine's running, I don't care. It's been a really hot day. My hay fever's kicked in, but we did have qualifying this afternoon. Unfortunately, a few DD2 and DD2 Masters drivers got penalised with 5 place grid penalties, which changed who was going to be our top driver in DD2 Masters. A few drivers have argued their case, saying, well, this guy was slower than me. This guy slowed down more than I did. Slowing down is slowing down. What can I say? But yeah, trying to get try and get a shower and get hot when I get back to the hotel. But I've got to stop off at Lidl, I think, just to get some supplies for where I'm staying, and just to help me out a little bit. But yeah, nice good old cold can of Coca-Cola does the mind and the body good. See, it's mine. Morning, it's day 2. The wagon is still doing a good job. Bit heavy on the fuel, but yeah, being a hybrid, no battery charge left in the car when I picked it up. But yeah, nice day, got over the hay fever, had a really good sleep last night, just taking some tablets to get around it. So here we go, day 2 here at Val d'Argenton. So overlooking the circuit, this is my vantage point as the drivers make their way down the pit lane. The DD2 Masters warm up this morning. So we have all the respective screens. So information, timing, stream, grids here, hydration, clipboards, and something very important, microphones. So racing's about to get underway in about 30 minutes time. It's now coming up to 10 to 10. Spent some wonderful time with Hamza Al-Fayez and his family, and good old Tony Hogg and Danny Brandt from Dubai. There is the paddock. very quiet, and the sun is setting, so back off to the hotel in the lovely Citroën C5 Aircross Hybrid. And there is the trip I've got. It's about 15 minutes away, so 17 kilometres. It's around about 15 or so miles. So yeah, let's go back to the hotel and get some respite ready for finals day tomorrow. Time for one of these. Gut Original. And it's coming up to the time, 20 to 11. Had a really good catch up with a few people this evening. Now it's time to chill out, get ready for finals day tomorrow. You might be able to hear some noise in the background about some people playing cards. That's some of the Camp Company crew. Time to get a good night's sleep, get myself ready and refreshed for finals day tomorrow. À demain. Bonne nuit. Right, so we're in the Tribune. Here's my good buddy, Mr. Philip Shawmans, in your perch. And there's this little camera rig set up, but it's been a good weekend so far, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, sure. Nice weather, nice cones, nice races. What else need you more?
There we go, so got 3 more races to go, so it's goodbye from me. It's goodbye from him. Now time for the finals, coming up to 1:45. Sun is on our side. The track is looking great. Marshall's heading out. Big thank you to Alnor Sarrazin and his team here at Circuit du Val d'Argenton. It's been another great weekend. Sun is in the air. Smell of fuel and tyres is going to permeate all the way through the next 3 races. So let's have it. Let's have some great finals here in Western France. To close out the show here in Western France at Circuit du Val d'Argenton, it is the DD2 and the DD2 Masters final. Let's take you through the starting grid. So it's going to be an all-Dutch front row, courtesy of Martin van Leeuwen and Enzo Bol. David Altleichner and Lucas Pernaut round out the top 2 rows, followed by Maxime Shurko and Maxime Dirks in row number 3. Leonardo Baccaglini and Ville Villainen will be on row 4 with Philip Moitzi and Victor Frostbay on row 5. Jakob Bezel and Peder Bezel, row 6. Row 7, Kenny Gerhardt and Axel Sarniala. Carl Gustav Borgard and Mats Johan Overhoff round at the top 16. Martinez Tankevicius promoted to the race victory in the pre-final. He starts on DD2 Masters pole on 17th. Following him will be Jules Cousin, Nicolas Picot, Sebastian Schul, Tim Stipitz, Dennis Thum, Nicolas Guillaume, Michael Becker, Christophe Capitain, Patrick Snolls, Lockmalis, Jimmy Chaumier, Igor Mukin, Tony Hogg, Mads Lees due to start 30th ahead of Manuel Tenschert and Rasmus Vendelbo. So, they are primed and ready for our final race. Are we ready? Are we steady? The revs will start to rise now. Lights go out first time. Great start by the pole sitter as Van Leeuwen leads the field into clubhouse for the first time. Enzo Bol slots over behind the Dutchman into second position as they filter their way through clubhouse, and someone's gone grass tracking already, and that was one of the Standpec of the SP Motorsport kart. Someone else is having a little bit of a off-track excursion. That was Leonardo Baccaglini. Might have been Axel Sarniala possibly that went over the grass. And there's a bit of a scrap happening for 3rd position because David Altleichner has got Lucas Pernaut and Maxime Shurko right with him. Maxime Dirks is there. So is also the 421 of Philip Moitzi. It looks like it was Baccaglini that did have a couple of drops of position. But after the opening lap, it's Van Leeuwen that leads the way. Bol in 2nd, Altleichner 3rd. 4th, it is Pernaut, Shurko, Dirks, Moitzi, Villainen, Baccaglini, Victor Frostbay. They round out the top 10. Nicolas Picot has got the lead and is currently P15 in DD2 Masters. Field now makes its way up towards turn number 4 once again. And Lucas Pernod has dropped down to 6th position because he's been passed not only by Maxim Shurkov, but also just going through down the back straightaway into turn number 5. That was Maxim Derix that got through on him. So the field makes its way through turn number 8 and up towards Pif-Paf and now through Dunlop. Van Leeuwen now knows that at this particular moment, what will happen is that he is going to have a fight on his hands, and he's got some of the youngest competitors behind him, 2 of which make up 2nd and 4th position. So they go down the back straight away once again. The 3 behind oh, and that was a big moment for Lucas Pernod, and into the side of him goes Ville Villainen. 2 wheels into the air and he gets clattered into, and that has caused a chain reaction. So Ville Villainen out of the race. Lucas Pernod, that is one of the KSCA, it's one of the Sodi karts, and also one of the Sheepers racing karts. Was that Nicolas Guillaume that got caught up in the crossfire? He's gone out under his own steam, and that is 4 out. Looks like that was Tim Stipitz that got involved, that was involved in there. It was Guillaume that was the 2nd of the Sheepers racing karts, and the clear frustration from Tim Stipitz was clear to see. Now all 4 drivers will have to watch by the sidelines as Van Leeuwen continues to lead the way. Boll still holding on to 2nd, but there has been a change for 3rd. Keep your eyes on the 4-3-5 Maxim Shurkov from Lithuania. And he's closing again. Remember what happened in the pre-final. Shurkov had the pace. And the thing is, with over 3.5 minutes of this 14-minute final completed, there is no gap to the tune of 2.7 seconds that someone needs to close. That gap is now half a second. So it's only a case of when, not if, does Maxim Shurkov get past Enzo Boll for 2nd place and then goes hunting after the 4:03 from the Netherlands. Altleichner has got some clear area in front and behind him. Now on to lap number 5. So far we've had a non-starter from Mads Rees. Tim Stipitz, Nicolas Guillaume, Ville Villainen and Lucas Pernod out after that multi-cart incident on lap number 3 coming out of turn number 6. And Shurkov is within earshot. He's within lunge range of Enzo Boll. Right up close, going through into the braking zone. Into turn number 5 was the Lithuanian. Don't count Altleichner out of this either. He showed what he's capable of back at Karting Genk back in mid-April this year. Some further changes. Mats-Johan Overhoff, who started 31st in the pre-final, started 16th in this final. He is now in a genuine 11th place. He's ahead of Axel Sarniolo by just over 0.6 of a second. And what's more, Mats-Johan Overhoff has just set the fastest lap of the race, 51.996. After that incident at nearly 120 kilometers an hour that curtailed his heat stay, he now has come back, and he's come back hungry and wanted to really showcase his speed in a DD2 kart. His initial thoughts behind it was to get some training again with the front and rear braking system on a DD2. And that was for Project E20, which he competed in at Karting Genk. And now Shurkov is closing. He's waiting for his chance to strike. We are 45 seconds away from half-time in this final here in DD2 and DD2 Masters. Nicolas Picot, in the meantime, is 14th and leading the classification in the Masters side of things. And he has only got, well, you know what? He might have a fight on his hand, because behind him he's got Carl Gustav Borgard, who in turn has got the number 533 of Martinas Stankiewicz just behind. Then they've got the likes of Patrick Knowles, Lochmelis. Dennis Thum in the 577 representing Germany is also in that train. But down out of Dunlop come the drivers in second and third position. And Van Leeuwen sets another fastest lap of the race. He's now started pulling away. That gap is now 1.3 seconds and climbing. He was exactly 2/10 quicker than Enzo Bol, and nearly 2/10 quicker than Maxim Shurko, who seems to have a slight edge on the 410 from the Netherlands. But at the moment, with the temperatures having increased significantly since the pre-finals earlier on today, has that caused a little bit of a differential? As there goes Carl Gustav Borgard up the inside of Nicolas Picot. There is Martinas Stankiewicz, just calmly waiting. Looks to plant his cart on the outside of turn number 8, but now he's up the inside of Picot. That's for the DD2 Masters class lead. He's got through. Stankiewicz through on Picot's home soil. But the Frenchman is not going to give that one up without a fight. I can guarantee you that right now. That's for 15th overall, and more importantly, the class win in DD2 Masters. So Stankiewicz does have an opportunity to take a victory here in the final. But Picot was right on his back bumper, right on his case, within 56 thousandths of a second, and now the change for second has happened. Shurko now P2. Enzo Bol not willing to give up that second place without saying something about it. 5 minutes to go, plus an additional lap, and Martin Van Leeuwen has done it again. He's checked out, he's 2.2 seconds up the road. What can Shurko do now? He's got to start pushing. He's got to start pushing, but that depends on whether the machinery underneath him or the tyres contacting the tarmac underneath are going to respond in kind. Last time out, we did see him pull a significant gap over Enzo Bol. Van Leeuwen's lead now 2.1 seconds. Oh, right. There's a little bit of activity with Maxim Shurko in the fact that he's just put in his personal best of the race. 51.866 seconds. And what's more, there's been more developments in DD2 Masters. Dennis Thum has now gotten past Nicolas Picot and is in second in the classification for DD2 Masters, currently running P17. Stankiewicz currently 15th. So at the moment, Martin Van Leeuwen has the fastest lap of the race overall, a 51.847 second lap time. Still have 27 drivers out of the 32 that were due to start. We've got just under 3.5 minutes to go. Shurko is still lapping at around about the same pace as been shown by Martin Van Leeuwen. They're literally lapping within 11 thousandths of each other at this particular moment. Philip Moitzi from Austria has had a pretty good run in this race. He's currently P6 behind Maxim Dirix, but he's got behind him Victor Frostbay and Italy's Leonardo Baccaglini. So this could be a little bit of a dogfight into the dying moments of this race. 2 minutes 40 plus an additional lap still to go. And the response is starting now with 2.5 minutes to go. Maxim Shurko responds to Martin van Leeuwen with a fastest lap of the race, 51.750 from the 4.35. Moitzi coming under pressure from Victor Frostbay, heading into turn 4. And Frostbay was looking to the inside. Moitzi defends. Now that's going to bring him back Aglini, but Frostbay up the inside through turn 6 on the 4.21 from Austria. Nearly opened both the bundles very, very wide indeed for Baccaglini. But Baccaglini just did not want to go through with that manoeuvre because otherwise that could have taken himself and Moitzi out at the same time. Another fastest lap of the race. Maxim Shurko, 51.648 seconds. It gets the differential between him and Martin van Leeuwen down to just over 2. Rasmus van der Bo, unfortunately, will retire from the race from 27th position on lap number 13, meaning Igor Mukin from Cyprus is the last runner and rider out of 26 still circulating, coming down to the last minute and a quarter. Van Leeuwen has won 2 of the 4 races that have taken place so far up until this point. So we're going to have this plus 2 more laps to go. Lap 16 underway as Van Leeuwen now has a lead of just over 2 seconds. Maxim Shurko is quicker than Martin van Leeuwen, but it is not enough. It cannot be thousandths of a second. It needs to be tenths. It needs to be north of 3, 4, maybe 4 tenths, maybe even half a second. Because on finals day, when Martin van Leeuwen is on his A game, once again he proves it that you have to go all guns blazing. You've got to get yourself in the right position at the right time. And by being on pole position, it was exactly what he needed. And that was for both the pre-final and the final. 8 seconds to go, 7. 2 more laps remain. And as Martin van Leeuwen goes through the Exeter clubhouse, timer expires. Maxim Shurko's just responded with one of the best laps so far this weekend. In DD2, he's put in a 51.432 from Maxim Shurko, but it is not going to be enough. That gap is now down to 1.8 seconds. He's pulled away comfortably from Enzo Bol, just like he did in the pre-final. It was it was over 2 seconds, the gap between Enzo Bol and Maxim Shurko in the previous race. Shurko getting a post-race penalty, demoting him back down a few more positions to start 5th, as opposed to what would have been 2nd on the road. Last lap board of the weekend is out. Changes for position happening at Dunlop, in particular between 2 Sodi carts. Van Leeuwen now making his way through into turn number 3 for the final time. What a Sunday it's been for this driver. 24 years of age, based out of Zolder, one of the nicest guys you could ever want to meet. And when you put him behind the wheel of a DD2 and he shuts the visor down, you get a completely different individual altogether. He was one of 3 different winners yesterday, which included Carl Gustav Borgaard and Belgium's Maxime Dirks. But it's time to celebrate as Martin van Leeuwen out of the final corner. He wins the pre-final and the final on finals day. What a job by the Dutchman. Flying away from the rest of the field with the greatest of ease, winning by 1.769 seconds. Well done to Maxim Shurko from Lithuania. Rounding out the top 2, Enzo Bol started on the outside of the front row, finished in 3rd place. David Altlechner and Maxim Dirks complete the top 5 positions in this final, ahead of Victor Frostbay, Philip Moitzi, Peter Bezel, Jakob Bezel, and rounding out the top 10, Axel Sarniala.
Leonardo Baccaglini would finish 11th ahead of Mats Johan Overhoff, Kilian Gerhard, Carl Gustav Borgard, and Martinas Tankevicius picks up the victory in the final, representing Lithuania in DD2 Masters in 15.
That's it. All done. 22 races. Podiums completed. That's it. Oh, it's been a good weekend. Early finish, 4:15 in the afternoon. Can't say fairer than that. Sun's still shining. Plenty of daylight still left. And then tomorrow morning, leave the hotel early and head back to home. Thanks for watching the vlog. See you next time for the next adventure. And it's going to be in a couple of weeks from now. I've already done Rye House this year. I'm going to be going to Fullbeck in Lincolnshire for the Independent Privateers Kart Championship. My first experience, and you're going to get a real behind the scenes feel then. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. See you on the next one. Bye bye.